So I was talking with Jonathan. He thought a video update would work well, which so I'm autistic. It's easier for me to communicate verbally than it is written word. But first off, I just want to thank everyone. You guys have been awesome. Like I just after the crappy year I've been having, it feels good to know that there's a lot of people out there that still, care and want to help. So thank you, truly. I'm also decide I'm gonna tell you like what's happened over the last year, so people know. So it started off. I lived in an apartment for about 5 years. It started off pretty nonchalantly. I started with a cough, and I didn't think much of it, but at the time, because it was right during like 2019, 2020, so COVID era. And I was like, oh, I got tested for COVID extensively over the time because I kept having this cough. I didn't know at the time, but the downstairs neighbors and the upstairs neighbors were having issues with mold at the time. But I was in a middle unit, so it didn't really show, but I still was getting affected by it. It started as a cough, then I started having more trouble breathing, and then I would start hacking up these either blood or just like balls of mucus, which I found out later it was just biofilm. It's what happens whenever your body gets mold in it. I still hack up some because the mold's still in my body. It takes years for it to get out. And it's been really affecting me trying to get it out. But anyways, started out like that, and then it started making me. I started forgetting things more and more, which I have a good memory, and it's been pretty bad. Like I got really forgetful for a while. Now that I'm out of there, I'm starting to think clearer again, so that's good. And then it just kept going up from there. It made me super weak. Like I could barely walk, like maybe 100 feet at a time. Like I even remember going to the grocery store and I was exhausted just by walking around. And before I switched over to Uber after my last job because my boss sold it, and then I was already, I just lost a few grandparents, and I started Ubering, and I was making money doing that. So it gave me some flexibility that I needed at the time. And I'm still Ubering now because if I didn't, I would have lost whatever job I had because I could barely stand. To be honest, whenever I first started crashing here, I slept for days mostly, just trying to get my strength back up. My body was so exhausted. But anyway, so the cough started, then I started like the weakness in my joints, and then it started getting way worse. About a year ago, I found out now the mold it attacks most of my body. It's attacked my intestines, my kidneys, my brain, my lungs, and my heart are the big ones. It started attacking my heart, and then it made my heart swell up, and it started giving me like chest pains all the time. It freaked me out because being a bigger guy, I had a grandfather who had a heart attack, and I was scared. I was terrified that I was like, oh crap, but because before I moved in, I was losing weight very well, and I found out later that the mold actually makes you retain weight because it likes to live in your body fat. It blocks so much stuff up. But anyways, so I've already lost like 50 pounds just being out of that place, and my diet hasn't really changed. But anyways, so whenever it started attacking my heart, I freaked out, of course, got it checked out. That's whenever they figured out mold was causing everything. The only thing that happened that made it the mold started spreading more in my apartment was we had a leaky roof that she knew about for years. I have some old pictures of she was just like the tiles, shingles is what I'm looking for. Shingles would fly off during the windy days, and it was just crazy. And you could see where there was like something up there, and the leak made it like come down into my apartment. Then it started leaking through my bathroom. Luckily, it just started off not. It was just drip straight in my toilet. So I was like, that's fine. I told the maintenance guy about it. He said he'd check on the upstairs. Yep, he found out it was the roof. And then I complained to the landlord after I found out about the heart problem that I was getting. I was like, hey, you need to fix this. And my medical bills are going to be expensive. And I'm at about $77,000 in medical bills because of this now. Because I had to check all these different organ systems. And I have severe asthma now. A few other major health issues because of this. But she refused. She didn't believe me, so she hired a mold remediation team to come out. They came out, did a mold test, found out that there was a ridiculous amount of mold in my apartment. There was more mold in my apartment's air than there was CO2 in the air. It was over 6% of my air was mold, which is ridiculous. Like, she didn't. And even in the mold report that the specialist wrote said a healthy person would get sick in this place. And I lived there for years. I'm very lucky I didn't die, because I think I would have if I would have stayed there. By the end, I was like blacking out from time to time. Just like while we were moving stuff out, like I remember I had to sit down for a second, and the next thing I know, I was blacked out. And I was shaking, I was freezing. My friends have been extraordinarily helpful moving my stuff and helping me out. But then she refused, and I wrote another letter to her. They were both all certified. I returned it to me again, and I also sent one into the manager of the units, which is her brother. And he was actually pretty nice about it. I think I remind him of his son, so he's like pretty nice to me. And then he was trying to get it figured out, and then because I kept complaining, I reported her to like the building and code enforcement, the state. She tried to evict me. Tried to evict me once, got dismissed, and then she tried to evict me a second time, and it also got dismissed. And at the time, I did retain a lawyer. He's helping with it, but it's going to take a long time. Like, it might take another year and a half before that's done. And I got to find a place to live. Like, I can't stay where I'm staying any longer at all. Anyways, he's working on it, but it's going to take time. But anyway, so she kept trying to evict me, and I just dropped the mold like both times. And then I did this thing called a constructive eviction. But they were both dismissed. So those are on my record now. Even though they were dismissed and they shouldn't go against me, they still do in like rental history, which really has been why it's been hard for me to find a place. I just need extra money so that I can pay a more expensive deposit or like pay up some of the rent just so they can let me live somewhere instead of being homeless. But I kept the mold just ruined my life 100%. I have to use 4 different inhalers. No, sorry, 3, and then a nasal spray every day just to control the asthma I now have. It also triggered diabetes with me because an infection happened, a mold infection can do that. My endocrinologist found out because mold really affects your endocrine system. My kidneys are fucked up. Oh, I don't know if I should have cussed. I have kidney pain. I actually had to have surgery because of it a few months ago. I produce a lot of calcium right now because the mold, the species I have, it produces a lot of calcium when it's in your system. So I had to get kidney stone removed, and then now I'm on medication for that to try to get the calcium down, which is really weird because my body does not produce calcium. It craves it because of a thing I have. And then I have a little bit of a hardening of part of my heart because of the swelling. I still have some memory issues, and I still suffer from exhaustion. But and it's ruined my mental health. To be honest, I got into a very low point, and Jonathan actually had to call the cops to do a wellness check on me, and I had to go to the hospital and get evaluated because it got to a point where I've been fighting this stuff for so long, and it feels like I'm just in like a losing battle because it takes time with the lawyer, and I'm stuck in a room with my cat just most of the day whenever I'm not working, and it's like all the things that bring me joy, my hobbies, I can't really do right now because they're all just packed away, and it's really hard me, especially being autistic and not being able to do your special interest has really decreased my mental health. And that's why Jonathan helped me make this GoFundMe. And I do appreciate everything you guys have done for me. I know that I'll get it through this bad time. It's just very hard right now. I know this is a little bit long, but thank you all again so much. I'll update you guys in a week or so. So thanks again. Bye.